All right, it is 11:30 Central, so we will get started. Welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to today's webinar, Using Classroom Kits to Grow Your Culinary Toolbox. My name is Emily Winnestorfer. I will be behind the scenes assisting our lead presenter today, Emily Kuhn. Emily is the communication specialist here at Realityworks and has been with us for close to 7 years. She collaborates regularly with educators and administrators to understand how they are implementing our products and programs, as well as what they are doing to engage today's students in high demand skills. She's a frequent presenter on topics regarding soft skills and student engagement at education conferences and trade shows. We also have a special recorded guest presenter, Melissa Priester. She has been a family consumer science teacher for the past 19 years at the Grays Lake Community High School District 127 and is a longtime user and partner with Realityworks. She joins us on different webinars to share classroom information and educators. Or share classroom information and ideas with educators. Both are great resources for today's presentation. Before we get started, I do want to cover a couple things. First, today's presentation is being recorded and you will receive a link to that recording as well as the handouts. You will also see that email within 24 hours after this presentation. Second, we will have a Q&A session at the end, so please feel free to use the chat and Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen, and we will answer as many of those questions at the end of the presentation. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass things over to Emily to get us going.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Emily, and thanks again to everyone for joining us today. I get to do a lot of fun things as communication specialist here at Realityworks, but one of my favorites is definitely speaking to the teachers like Melissa who are using our products in real classrooms and learning what they're doing to engage their students. So that's where a lot of today's information is going to come. It inspired us to create these kits, and we're excited to share them with you guys. With that, let's get started. So today's presentation, again, we'll focus on classroom kits to grow your culinary toolbox. We will kick things off with a brief overview of what Realityworks is for those of you who are joining us today who aren't super familiar with our company. Then, of course, we'll hop into sharing information on our 4 culinary kits. You'll learn what's in each one, you'll see curriculum highlights, and you'll get ideas for activities and more. And then Melissa will share how she's been using our knife skills kit in particular. And we'll wrap up today's webinar with some other resources, including some great free resources, and we'll have time for some questions at the end. So let's start things off with a quick review of what Realityworks is for those of you who aren't familiar with our company. Here at Realityworks, we create hands-on learning tools to help teachers like you engage your students, teach needed skills, and provide those important career exploration opportunities. We've actually been around for over 25 years, ever since the creation of the RealCare Baby Infant Simulator. And our mission is to help educators teach young people the skills they need to succeed, both in college and in life. We started in the fields of family and consumer sciences and health education, and in the last 2 decades, we've expanded our offerings to include products and resources for teaching welding, agriculture topics, nursing training, and more. And today we're proud to be in more than 70% of school districts in the US and in more than 90 countries around the world. So with that, let's hop into our focus for today, culinary kits. So why are we focusing on culinary kits in our creation of hands-on learning aids? Well, we are extremely excited about these kits for several reasons. A few of them are on your screen now. Culinary kits offer a great supplemental solution for teaching key skills. You can use these kits right along with any textbook or curriculum you're already using. Plus, they make wonderful supplemental resources for substitute teachers in particular. Culinary kits also offer easy ways to teach units on key topics. You'll see in the next few slides that ours address specific basic skills. Culinary kits also make classroom management easier because there are enough components in each kit for many students to participate simultaneously. In fact, as you'll see later in the presentation, 3 of the 4 kits we'll explore today include enough resources for 6 simultaneous small group activities. We're sure to build a assessment right into the lessons in multiple ways. And we've included activities to make the content engaging and give you more tools to use with your students. These are just a few of the reasons why we're so excited about culinary kits in general. With that, let's jump into reviewing our 4 kits. So we'll begin our presentation by covering our Knife Skills Kit, which we debuted last year. This kit makes for a great introductory unit for basic knife skills in any program. Better yet, it includes enough materials for you to facilitate, again, up to 6 small group practice sessions. You can see all of the components of each kit on the slide in front of you now. And we've tried to make this kit as easy as possible to use. It includes curriculum that contains 3 lessons on the basics of knife skills. The cutting boards all feature inch measurements and scale lines. The rulers utilize Mercer rules, and we include finger guards, knife cut models, posters, and modeling clay, plus a detailed quick start guide to help you make the most of your kit. The curriculum in particular includes 3 lessons that takes your students through safe handling and storage of knives, the parts of a knife, different types of knives, and how to perform several basic knife cuts. If you choose to use it in its entirety, it's about 1.5 to 2.5 hours of teaching time, but you can pick and choose the lessons as needed. And like all of our kits, this kit includes presentation slides, activities, and assessments to make it a little easier for you to use. So several of the lessons that you can use this kit to facilitate in your class are listed on the screen in front of you. And at this point, we're going to hand the presentation over to Melissa Priester, who is going to share some information on how her students have used their Knife Skills Kit, plus some great teaching strategies.
Hi, thanks, Emily, for passing me the baton today. First of all, I am Melissa Priester. I come to you from Grays Lake Central High School in Grays Lake, Illinois, where I've taught about 19 years, I think, something along the line of that. I don't know, really long time. I am here to talk about how I use the knife skill set in my classroom. Last semester we were 100% remote. This semester we have been hybrid. So we have about 1/3 of our kids coming into the building at a time, Tuesday through Friday. And I have approximately 9 kids in my class at a time, throughout the week. So that's just a little background. We still have a good chunk of our population that is still doing remote. So, when I was creating my lessons, you had to take into account for those students that were 100% remote and how to make, knife skills work with them and, what we were going to do. So here are some ideas that I came up with, and hopefully maybe they'll help you a little bit. So first thing, the kit provides a whole lot. It has that clay in there and all the different rulers and stuff like that. That's really cool for the in-class kids. I gave each student in the class a vegetable. They had a cutting board, obviously with the paper towel underneath, chef knife, and a peeler because we were using carrots. And I did this idea after I had the students do a knife safety lesson. So on our remote day, our Mondays are always remote days. I had them, well, actually a week prior, I should say, and the Monday, I had them go through and listen to a few different videos. I had them do some hyperlink docs in order to review and study knife safety. So they had some background knowledge. Plus I did a recorded lesson for them to view. So when they came into the classroom and when they were on Zoom for this practical, they had some background as to what I was looking for. Now you could do this simultaneously at the same time. it just, however long your periods are, ours are about, they're an hour, but once you take attendance via, Zoom, it's about 45 minutes. So anyway, this is what worked for me. So my remote students, every student got a little tub of Play-Doh at the beginning of the semester when they picked up some of their supplies. And that was just to be safe. We didn't know what was going to come. So I wanted to make sure that they had something that they could manipulate when we got to this point. Okay. So every student at home had the Play-Doh. In the class, I used clay. And due to COVID regulations, the students had to take it with them. So I didn't use the Realityworks clay. I had purchased some stuff that they used, and then they took home, and then they used it to practice with the other activity. I scanned the rulers down here. You can see these rulers so that the students at home could print them out and have them to use. Because we didn't have enough to pass out to every student that was doing this activity at home. So that was just some ways that I got ready for the activity. In the class, I spread these out kind of equally around my room, so every student had an opportunity to work with them. They are really cool, and the kids loved lining up their dices and their minces to see how well they did. So things that I taught, like I said, before coming into the classroom, and I made sure during our practical that I was enforcing and really focusing on was having that proper station with the paper towel underneath or a rag underneath, that secure cutting board, just having everything good. I focused on the knife hold and the pinch, especially with a chef knife. Now, not all students at home had chef knives, so we had to make a few tweaks here and there, when I was teaching via Zoom. And also working with the guide hand. Now, Realityworks does have the guide hand protector, which I did use with one or two of my students, I forget, just because they were a little bit more nervous about the hold. So I was able to utilize that, and that made them a little bit more comfortable. Unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures of that. And then, proper cutting motion, that whole rock, not the, the chop. Again, you're just, really focusing on correct technique, going slow. Some students already have this. Others need a little guidance. I actually taught myself how to cut left-handed last week while practicing with a student because he was left-handed and he just couldn't get the concepts that I was trying to tell him. And so the only way I could do it was to show him, and he was left-handed. So anyway, I learned I can cut, not very well, but I can cut left-handed. So I learned something. Okay, so the lesson in a nutshell, and again, you're going to do it how you feel it works best. We walk the students, so step by step, after they had the correct hold, after they had the correct guide hand, I walked them through slowly those things. Then we walk through some basic cuts using the clay or the Play-Doh at home. At home, some students just used a vegetable. Again, we had to work with what they had, and if a student hadn't come and picked up the Play-Doh at school, then they used a vegetable, or even a cheese stick worked for a couple of them. We found something that they could use. But we focused on, some proper knife cuts. I start with slicing, just that proper slicing so that we could practice with the guide hand. And then I teach them the chop and the rock chop, which then leads into the mince. We go into julienne and with dice and cube. Again, I keep it very simple in this is our Culinary 1 class. I just work on those basic cuts because really my main focus is that they're holding the knife right. That guide hand is out of the way. It's not, their flat edge is down. you know, they're just being as safe as possible when cutting. Once they're comfortable, you know, then I handed out the carrots that we had in the classroom, where I taught them how to use a peeler. Or some students, we did talk about how we could use a paring knife as a peeler. Some students do that at home. So we, you know, went through those steps as to how to do that correctly and safely. But most needed just a little review as to how to use the peeler and keep your hands away so that they don't get cut. Which then last week we used in our lab. We made apple pie bites, and so we were peeling the apple. And again, those skills from 2 weeks ago came in handy. I did add an extension activity. This was their activity that they did on their remote day. So our students have in-class days and then remote days. I found it online, so thank you if you are the teacher that I saw a similar activity. I just, like we all do, I changed it a little bit to fit my students and what we were doing, and an easy way for them to do practice. They put videos in this PowerPoint, and we use Schoology here, so everything was uploaded through Google and Schoology. Again, thank you to whoever you might recognize the background of the slides. As we know, as teachers, sharing is caring, and we need all the help we can get, especially in this year. Here are just some pictures of our remote. So some of them joined me on Zoom. Some classes, you know, more kids joined than others. They all had to do it live in front of me. So a lot of students join me in we have these afternoon sessions. And so they came during those afternoon sessions and did it live with me then. So we were more one-on-one. But again, this was one thing that I was a really stickler that they had to do it live in front of me, because I wanted to make sure their technique was good. I wanted to make sure they were being as safe as possible. And again, I learned this from, you know, last semester when we were fully remote. It was one thing that I wish I would have done. And yes, my lights just went out because they are motion censored, and obviously I'm not moving enough speaking to you. Oh, Lord. In class, okay, you can see the students, obviously they're all spread apart. Those that are in bigger classes, they're working with the rulers and the templates. And the bottom picture, you can see my Zoomers on my screen. So I was keeping an eye on them at home and keeping an eye on my students in the classroom moving around. It worked really well, and we've done a lot of labs like this. Yeah, it seems to be flowing. So the Knife Skills Kit, though, is a nice little handy tool to have. Like I said, students really liked being able to measure and judge and see how well they did. So, and that's the end of me. I'm gonna pass the baton back so they can talk about food safety kit. Thank you, and if you have any questions, let me know. They can reach me. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Emily and Melissa. We'll just keep getting right on into the rest of our culinary kits. The next kit we would like to cover is our food safety kit. Now, this kit is actually was actually the first culinary kit that we created here at Realityworks. It covers basic food safety and handling techniques that we found are used in culinary occupations and at home. On the slide in front of you right now is a list of all the goodies that you receive with this kit. You get curriculum, including presentation slides. You also get enough components to facilitate up to 6 small group activities at the same time, just like that Knife Skills Kit. And again, classroom management is something we always strive to make easier with our products. So we've included a variety of other hands-on learning aids and a teacher guide and everything else that you need to make the most of this kit. The curriculum that comes with this kit does include 7 lessons that address the topics on your screen. If you chose to teach all of it, the teaching time would be about 8 to 10 hours, but again, you can pick and choose lessons from the curriculum as needed as well. And in fact, on that note, you can hop on our website anytime to see a sample lesson from this kit and any of the other kits that we're sharing here today. I've included a link in my PowerPoint presentation, which we will share in our post-webinar emails also. Now, depending on time, you can use the lesson plans in this kit to facilitate several fun activities with your students, like a proper hand washing activity using that glow germ gel, or a research project on common pathogens. The lessons do integrate important language art skills, and in fact, several research projects are part of the activities. The highlight of the kit, we think, though, is the foodborne illness outbreak simulation. We've included instructions to help you put your students into groups where they could take on the role of a county health official who is tasked with discovering the source and pathogen that's causing a local outbreak at a large-scale event. And like a detective, they can follow the instructions in the kit to trace the clues to discover the answer. You can also facilitate a bacteria growing lab and a safe cooking lab. We're pretty excited about the activities in this kit. Now, oops, did I skip a slide here? The next kit we want to cover is our kitchen safety kit. This kit as well is new. It was released just this year. You can use it to introduce basic kitchen safety concepts and techniques to your students in an easy to use 1-week unit. This kit also works with any textbook or curriculum you might already be using. And again, it includes a variety of activities, activity cards. We've included posters and the hands-on activities that address topics like sanitation, knife safety, and hazard prevention and assessment. You can use this also to organize up to 6 simultaneous kitchen labs or offer individual kitchen safety practice opportunities as well. The curriculum in our kitchen safety kit helps your students learn about concepts that may be used at home or in culinary occupations. It introduces 4 primary hazard areas in the kitchen: sanitation, burns, falls, and cuts. And we did take steps to ensure that each lesson integrates those hands-on activities throughout. For instance, the glow germ oil and UV lights can be used in an interactive, proper hand washing techniques lab activity if you so choose. And the kitchen safety poster set for each cooking lab station is provided for an easy visual reference for your students to use during various activities. We also suggest using those posters to offer a review prior to the post test if you choose to utilize that. The highlight of this kit is a hazardous kitchen assessment that you can facilitate in your own classroom. We have provided instructions to walk you through taping off a part of your kitchen lab and then using the items from this kit and from your own supply to create a hazardous area. Once that hazardous area has been created, you can task your students with observing the kitchen, identifying the hazards, and explaining how to mitigate or prevent each. Last but not least, our food truck design kit is our 4th kit that we would like to review today. This is another brand new learning aid that we just debuted this year. We chose to focus on food truck design because of their extreme popularity and growth, especially within recent years. Thought we'd start things off by sharing some fun facts with you. Food trucks in general, prior to the pandemic, have seen exponential growth. In fact, the industry overall had revenue growth of over 300% from 2014 to 2017. And even in the pandemic, the food truck industry earned over $2 billion in revenue per year in the United States. And last year alone, there were over 24,000 active food truck businesses in the US. We thought this was a really exciting, relevant topic for your students to explore. So we're really excited to now be offering a food truck design kit. So like our other kits, we designed this food truck design kit to give teachers an easy way to offer hands-on activities. In this case, hands-on design experience for students tasked with building a food truck business. This kit allows for optimal student interaction and learning while planning basically all aspects of a food truck business. It includes a variety of hands-on learning aids. Again, enough lab activities and lessons plans to teach a really comprehensive 3-week unit on food truck entrepreneurship. And this can also supplement any textbook or curriculum already in use. Again, this curriculum is incredibly robust. It actually includes almost 19 hours of course content. You can use the lessons in this kit to teach your students how to be entrepreneurs or how to open their own food truck business. Other topics include designing a food truck name and logo, planning the menu items, and then using the scaled tiles and the design board in the kit to lay out their very own food truck business. And that concludes the 4 culinary kits that we were hoping to review with you guys today. Now, I did want to mention a brief note about the time. It's about 11:55, so we are going just a titch over this morning. We have a few other resources to share with you and some fun free assets, and then we'll wrap things up with questions. So if you have to leave right at noon, we know we said this webinar would end at that point. Don't worry, we will include some resource links and other goodies in those post-webinar emails. So just keep an eye in your inbox if you have to leave early. For those of you who can stay, we did want to just briefly cover some other culinary resources that we offer in case you're looking for additional opportunities to incorporate hands-on learning aids into your classroom. We wanted to mention that our classroom-friendly hydroponic systems now include 3 styles. That's new this year. So you can pick the best option for growing fresh, healthy food without leaving your classroom. We're also really excited to be offering multiple opportunities to provide hands-on instruction regarding beef, pork, and meat cuts. We not only offer a beef and pork 3D meat cuts poster, but a brand new set of butcher beef cut models, a picture of which is on your screen now. That kit includes magnetic detailed models of major beef cuts that students can, interact with and get that hands-on learning with. We also offer a variety of soft skills activity cards that would allow your students to practice using skills like teamwork, communication, critical thinking, and those other key soft skills within the context of culinary careers. And you can learn more about all of these products, plus others, by visiting our website. All right, with that, now what? We just shared a variety of information and resources with you. Where do you go from here? Well, if you are looking to incorporate more hands-on learning opportunities into your program, we suggest asking yourself the questions on your screen. What content areas do you need more resources for? Do any of the resources we just shared line up with the gaps you have? Don't be afraid to start small. And we also, of course, gave you that quick peek of some other culinary resources. And so I did want to mention that a great way to see everything we offer and also get information like product details and pricing is by checking out our brand new 2021 Family and Consumer Sciences catalog. That includes everything we offer for family and consumer sciences programs, culinary topics, etc. A link to that catalog is on your screen, and we'll also include that in our post-webinar email. And of course, know that whenever you're ready, you can contact us, give us a call. We'll connect you with your local account manager and help you plan and answer any questions that you have. Finally, I did want to share some awesome free resources that we're pretty excited about. These are items you can visit our website right this very moment and download and start using right away. We offer free culinary career exploration curriculum. There are 5 lessons in this curriculum that you can use right away to teach your students about jobs related to our culinary training tools. This includes careers in food service, food science, food production, and nutrition in 5 different career clusters. We also just debuted, this is brand new, a free culinary careers infographic. It's pictured on your screen now, the content of which addresses in-demand careers related to the culinary and food science industries. So you can also hop on our website, print this out, and hang it in your classroom right away. A link to those free resources is on your screen. And again, we will include those in our post-webinar emails as well. All right, with that, we do have a few minutes to answer any questions, if there are any. Emily, do you see any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions right now, but I do see that somebody did raise their hand. Patsy, do you have a question? If you do, you can type it into the chat feature down at the bottom and we can answer that. Give it a couple minutes.
Well, I see. Oh, well, thanks, Nora. Glad you enjoyed our information today. Of course, if anyone has any questions or anything else that they have a concern about, please feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Oh, it does look like Patsy has a question, Emily.
Yep, there is a question. Is the food safety kit outbreak simulation online?
It is designed to be facilitated in person, although, we've been so impressed with teachers getting creative with utilizing our tools for in-person and remote learning. I think I might take that question to our product manager who wasn't able to be on this webinar today. And we've got your information, Patsy. So if you don't mind, we can follow up specifically with you with that answer. That is a good question. If we have any additional resources, maybe, or specific ideas we could share.
And then are these kits appropriate for high school levels and middle school levels?
Absolutely, yes.
And then, Emily, what is the cost of the knife skills kit? We did get that question.
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, let me actually hop on to our website super quick so I can make sure I give you a correct number here. We're wondering about the knife skills kit.
Yep, and I just actually pulled it up. It is $5.99, and I will include that link in the chat as well.
Perfect.
For anybody who's interested. And then we did have a question. If we are interested, can we have somebody contact us regarding a cost breakdown?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And then do we have a hard copy catalog or is it only online?
We did mail hard copies of our catalogs to school districts across the country. Likely your school was selected as one of the recipients because we do send out a plethora of catalog items. But the good news is, even if it's not, you can certainly download that PDF right from our website. Oh, and I should add, you could call if your school didn't receive a catalog. I do know you can also give us a call if you really need that paper version, and give us a call, and our account services team can send you a paper version as well. Ooh, and I see Patsy's asking if there's any sort of bundle option for the kits. That is a fantastic question for our account services team and your local account manager. We are happy to work with you to make sure that we can find some learning aids that fit your budget.
Perfect. And then do we ship internationally?
That's a good question. I want to say yes, but I do know that we have some awesome international distributors across really around the globe that do such a great job also working with the specific customers in their locations and working with various, shipping regulations and things like that. If you're wondering about your specific location, I recommend you give us a call and we can either connect you directly with the distributor in your location or go from there if there doesn't happen to be one.
Perfect. And I'm not seeing any other questions coming through.
Awesome. It looks like I am seeing some wonderful comments in that chat. So that's really fun. We're thrilled you guys enjoyed this information today. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend. We'll go follow up with emails to all of the attendees and anyone who couldn't make it with some helpful links and other information. And again, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.